Folks, welcome back. I'm Simon Brodie, and you are watching Talk Oxford, the show that has everybody in Oxford talking. Well, most of the people in Oxford. As you saw earlier, we had Kevin Ackland for Systems and Solutions telling us all about IT, and myself and Ed have been nerding out with him over the break. So, talking about some more nerdy stuff, Kevin, talk to me about viruses and antiviruses. What's out there? Because I use Avast. I've never had any problems with it, but it's free, and there's always a little bit of a worry that I might not be getting the protection that I should.
Okay. First of all, I think that the average time of infection, by the way, if you go on the internet without any antivirus on there, the average time of infection would be about 17 seconds. Yeah, so you need your antivirus to start with. Free and up to date is better than none at all. I have to say that most of our repairs that come into our workshop will have free antivirus on there, so that kind of shows in some respects you get what you pay for. I'd suggest a paid one, a commercial one, if you can. I think you're probably quite computer knowledgeable, and therefore you kind of know how to steer clear of. I'm
still a bit worried now.
Okay. One of the most important things you need to do, and by the way, what viruses do is that they get into the operating system via security holes or exploits. And Microsoft, in particular, are always updating the operating system. So every single Tuesday, there's a thing called Patch Tuesday in the IT world, and I think it's the first Tuesday of the month. And Microsoft actually release all of their security patches, and that plugs all the holes where viruses, that viruses use to infiltrate your operating system. So apply security patches, absolutely crucial. You can have antivirus software, and if you haven't got your operating system patched, you could be in big trouble. The other thing as well is a good idea to scan your computer on a regular basis with your virus scanner. Lots of people don't do that. They kind of, because it takes up time, it slows your computer down, and you really need to be doing that on a fairly regular basis. You will be surprised how easy it is to get a virus onto your computer, and it's a good idea to do that on a very regular basis.
So you heard it here, folks. It takes about 17 seconds to get a virus on your computer. Ed was saying he's been in clubs where exactly the same thing can happen. If you want to get in touch with us, you can tweet us. We're at That's Oxford TV. You can email us at talk@that'soxford.com. If you've got any questions about IT, please get in touch. If you want to take part in the show at some stage in the future, please get in touch as well. What we're looking for at the moment, we've had a chat to people in the back office as well. We want someone that can make a decent curry goat. To bring a curry goat in, because I don't believe all the team here have tried that. So if you can do a decent curry goat, please get in touch. We'll get you in, and we'll sample the delights of one of the best curries known to man. So Ed, you were saying that you're a bit of a PC gamer. What is it you game with?
A PC. Good night. No, I'm very.
He's a funny guy.
What do you mean by that question?
What games do you play?
What games do I play? It kind of varies from time to time. I'm perpetually dissatisfied by all the games that are out there. There was a big portion of my youth where it would be all night, every night, and now I kind of to and fro. But I basically like to play online with mates. I don't like playing single player stuff because that's sad and lonely, and I don't want to do that. But sorry to offend any gamers who do that. But I like teamwork. I like where you can chat with your mates over Skype or any other voice chatting thing, and then just be able to play a game. So at the moment I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5, which came out on PC only fairly recently. But that's a really good laugh, and it's especially fun to play with mates. As well as that, I play a couple of survival games. There's one called Rust, which I'm a big fan of, and it's quite graphic. But you spawn completely naked on an island on the beach, and then you are armed with a big rock and a kind of flaming torch, and you basically have to go up to trees and hit them with the rock, get wood, build a shelter, and survive, kill animals, all that. And it's really visceral, quite vivid, and I really like it. But that's the kind of nerdy side of my life.
It sounds a bit like Minecraft for slightly older teenagers.
Yeah, Minecraft in real life, in less blockiness. But I'm a big fan of Minecraft as well. Me and my mates used to play that quite a bit until because you have to pay to rent a server, and none of us have the time or want to spend the money on that to do that at the moment. But I kind of flicker between. I bought a series because I'm a big fan of using Steam, the PC.
All right, yes.
It's kind of the Netflix or iTunes store of PC gaming for those who don't know. And I'm constantly looking at anything that is what I like to call sandwich money, the kind of money where you'd go, oh, I'll buy a sandwich for that amount of money, and you don't even think about it. I will buy a game that's that price. So if it's £1, I'll buy it.
So you probably have hundreds of games that you've never actually got around to
I've
playing.
got loads of games I just have never got around to playing, because there's about to be a big sale, the big Steam summer sale, which is it's one of those things that murders teenagers' wallets, because you will just end up throwing away all of your money on hundreds and hundreds of games that get reduced to below a fiver. And so that it's this time of my life that I look forward to rather immensely. And you just end up really pouring all of your money into it. And so I've gone, oh, that's really cheap, I'll buy that. And it's just sitting there doing nothing. But I can't really think of any that are coming out that I'm especially excited about. Are you a gamer yourself?
Oh yeah, I do play online games as well. But again, I'm a big fan of multiplayer games. And as you say, it's not necessarily the game; it's the social environment that you can create that almost creates a meta game around it. How's that changing, or is it changing the way we buy hardware and the hardware that we buy? Because I've seen gaming headsets and gaming mice now that are hundreds of pounds, probably more than you'd spend on a computer for a mouse.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we put together computers for those purposes, and some of them are pretty expensive. You know, a couple of £1,000 for PCs, not particularly unusual, because you need some pretty heavy hardware. You know, when I say heavy, I mean very powerful hardware. So the graphics cards are very powerful. You need high capacity solid state disks, plenty of RAM, fast processors. So just, you know, it costs a lot of money. And
are these still lasting 2 or 3 years before they're yesterday's chip paper?
Future-proof.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's just more demands on the hardware, but you know, hardware is pretty fast at the moment. In particular, solid-state disks are fantastic in terms of the performance gain that you get. If you start up a computer on a normal computer with an operating system, you're probably starting up in about, I don't know, about 20 seconds. You could probably divide that by 4 on a solid-state disk. It's just lightning fast, and those interfaces are going to get faster and faster and faster.
And I remember it wasn't that long ago. It was a pound a gig, and then it wasn't that long before that. It was a pound a meg,
Yep.
and now you're buying terabytes for, you know, almost, as you say, sandwich money.
Yeah, and solid-state disks have only just started to come down in price and become, you know, reasonable to buy. You know, one of our all the PCs that people would buy now would have a solid-state disk, whereas maybe last year it was just too expensive. But a little bit like CRT monitors and flat screens, soon that will be the norm, and we won't have the old-style mechanical hard disks that we've used for the last 20
if
years.
you could look into the camera there and tell my wife that I need a solid-state hard drive, that would be great.
There is no amount of money that you should not be spending on computers.
Thank you.
And also you should have more than well, I was going to say more than one. Everybody should have more than one, but you should have about 5 computers, and that would be normal.
I would hate to think how many computers I've got in my household, because
I have 12.
There's
Well, what do you use them all?
That's the wrong question, really.
Right, okay.
why only 12?
Yeah, why only 12?
There we go. You know, I know there's children in the household.
Right.
So, you know, there's laptops and iPads, and then, of course, there's an Xbox. I happen to have a server in my garage as well, which is pretty useful. So I've got a couple of servers in my garage. I've got a MacBook Pro. I've got a Chromebook. I have a laptop, and I have my very large computer upstairs in my study with 2 27-inch monitors. You need these things.
Blimey.
It is ridiculous, because every time I've got a new computer, it's all shuffled down. So I think of the 5 of us in the house, we've got 4 desktops, and my daughter's got a desktop at college. We've got 4 laptops, and as you say, on top of that, you've got your tablets, your phablets.
Yeah. You need all these things all of the time.
But how's that changing what we do? You know, because, like, you know, you talk about, people joke about, texting your kids to get them to come down for dinner. Is it destroying the family, or is it just changing it, or what? What
My
do you
family
think?
have a WhatsApp group, and that's something that you couldn't do before. So I've been messaging. We send photos to each other and just make each other laugh. But so in some ways, you are what you're saying, having to text the kids to come downstairs for dinner. you're right in that it is almost tearing apart communication, face-to-face communication, but it adds another dimension of it, I think. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that I can... So the guys who I often play online with, we've got Facebook groups, chats, WhatsApp group chats.
So what do you do when they're at school?
How dare you? No, I spend all day chatting to them, and I feel like my day isn't complete unless I've messaged my boys.
Yeah, and I think, as you say, I think people think, oh, all this technology, it's taking away communication. People aren't sitting down as families, but actually, it's growing it. Like you say, I had a WhatsApp group with all my cousins on it, and they're all over the world. And you're communicating in real time all over the world. Although I tend to use Slack now. I think that's a really good business.
I've
Business
heard
one
of
as
that
well.
one, yeah.
Yeah, that's. Do you use social media in
I
your
do,
business?
yeah. Certainly, obviously, Twitter, Facebook a fair bit as well. And we've had one of my members of staff created a video on how to recognise those fake updates, and we put that on YouTube, put that onto our website, and that got about 3,000 views on there. So people all over the place looking at that and liking it, and learning something from it. So it's good for business.
So that's probably a good one, folks. Is have a look on the Systems and Solutions website, because I certainly know I keep getting phone calls from people telling me that I've got a virus, that they work for all the internet companies in the world, and that they're going to sort me out. So I'm guessing there's just more scams like that around.
Yeah, and I think I've had customers that have been scammed, and they've paid money to people, and in fact I've had one customer that was scammed twice, which is pretty unfortunate. Essentially, what they do is that they're very, very good at taking you in the confidence. They ask you to do certain things on the computer. It looks real. Everything's good about what they're saying, and people, if they say they're from Microsoft, will believe that they're from Microsoft, even though they're clearly not. So it can be a real issue. We have a lot of phone calls from people asking us for advice on that aspect.
So basically, ladies and gentlemen, if you do get somebody on the phone telling you you've got a problem with your computer, or you get an email telling you you've got a problem with the computer, what Kevin's basically saying is go and speak to your local IT shop, speak to the specialists. They will provide you with that support before you go off and spend lots of money and potentially end up with viruses or all sorts of problems. Right, ladies and gentlemen, as I say, you've been watching Talk Oxford. If you want to get in touch with us, we're on Twitter. And we're at That's Oxford TV. If you want to email us, it's talk@that'soxford.com. And remember, we're still looking for someone to do goat curry. So please get in touch, because that would be fantastic. Right, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains really is for me to say thank you very much to Kevin and Ed. It was lovely talking to you tonight. It was lovely talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. And hopefully we'll speak to you next week. Take care and keep talking.